Welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
What are we doing today?
Today we're going to be talking about 7 frugal tips that actually worked for us. This is a collab with Jan from New York City, Saves Money. It's one of our favorite YouTubers out there. And she asked us if we would like to share in the collab and tell our tips that worked. And she's going to tell 7 that worked. So after you finish with our video, if you haven't watched Jan's video yet, go over, watch it, and let her know that we sent you over. If you came here because Jan just premiered her video a few minutes earlier and now you're coming to see us, thank you.
Yep.
All right.
So the first frugal living tip that actually works for us, number 1 is get out of debt. Obviously, that's the number 1. Everything else you're trying to do, you want to try to get out of debt first. And there's several ways you can do that. You can follow Dave Ramsey's plan, Debt Snowball. You can do a lot of other different things. There are a lot of good plans out there that you can follow to get yourself out of debt. But that is the first plan. The first tip is to get out of debt.
That's right. Budget and get out of debt.
That's right.
All right. All right. So our second one is going to be meal planning. Now, before y'all cut us off because you're like, I don't like meal planning. We do flexible meal planning here. And what that means to us is that we put a plan in place that helps us know what to buy at the grocery store. But then as the weeks go by, we start swapping things around to fit into our schedule better. Because he has a flexible job, means flexible meal planning. But that works for us. So it doesn't have to be as structured as that. But I will say that when Joel lost his job, was it 10 years ago?
10 years ago.
10 years ago, and we didn't even know how we were going to pay our mortgage. We meal planned for an entire month at a time, and they were all freezer meals. And it does save money doing it that way. Because while you are being more structured, you are buying exactly what you need and only that. And because they're all freezer meals and all you have to do is take them out and throw them in a slow cooker or in the oven, you don't have to cook every night as often. So it makes it easier to stick to it. So we do recommend, like, if you are having to make some drastic cuts, look at those 1-month meal plans. We can link some that we've shared before in the past that will help you create a plan and stick to it.
That's right. Number 3 would be to check with your utilities, electronics, insurance companies, cable companies, whatever, and their competitors at least once a year. Now, you want to check up on your subscriptions, number 1, to make sure you're getting the most out of your subscriptions. If you have a magazine subscription or a Netflix subscription, you don't watch it, every couple months, then you're not really getting your money's worth. You might as well just go ahead and cancel it. But if you have something like cable or your internet provider or your cell phone provider or utilities, something like that, you want to look every month. Your car insurance is another one. Every 6 months, you want to check on that and see if you can get a better deal. See if you can get some kind of deal on your electronics, like your cell phone. Sometimes there will be, if you're a member of AARP, if you have AT&T, you can get a little bit off on your cell phone bill every month just for being an AARP member. So there are a lot of things you can check on to make your bills lower. And you should do that at least once a year.
Yeah. And if you have a company that you really like, but they've gone up on price, call them and give them an opportunity to maybe give you a promotional deal or something like that for your loyalty. And if they tell you no, don't be afraid to look around.
That's right.
4 is do the math. And you maybe say, what does that mean? That is a term that we kind of started using probably about 2 years ago on this channel. And what we're referring to with that is that we have a habit of assuming things. We assume that certain grocery stores are always cheaper than others, or we assume that generic is cheaper than buying a brand name, or we assume that buying in bulk is cheaper than buying smaller packages. However, that isn't always the case, and that's why you have to actually take out your calculator on your phone. Most everybody has a smartphone with them when they're grocery shopping, or either carry a handheld calculator with you.
Yep.
And actually divide the price of the item by the amount that's in it, either by ounces or pounds, or how many actual individual things are in the package, and just make sure that you are actually getting the best deal. Because we have run into, and you can go back and look at some of our old Do the Math videos, we have shown that sometimes the generic wasn't the cheapest. And we've shown the bulk wasn't always the cheapest. So you might be overspending and not even realizing. And you know, like you might think, oh, well, the store puts a label there and it has a unit cost on it, and that's what you go by. We've also shown that sometimes those unit costs are not written correctly, or they aren't consistent in what they divided by. So they might have one item on the rack that says per ounce, right beside another one, a like product that says per each. But so if you immediately look at it, you might think one is cheaper than the other, because you're seeing it look like a smaller number, but it's because they divided it by a different number. So that's why you have to do the work yourself. Don't trust it.
That's right. Number 5 is budget fund money. And we do that because we like to have fun. We don't think that budgeting and frugal living should be deprivation. If you have money you can budget towards fund money, we want you to do it. And then go out and have some fun with it.
And by the way, it doesn't have to be a lot. Like you could budget $5 every paycheck, or 20 or 30, and like let that $20 be your cup of coffee that you just really love from Starbucks or wherever. 6 is don't compare your journey to anyone else's. And I saw a post just the other day that said you should compare your finances to other people that you see online, and that way you'll learn from them. And I'm not saying you can't learn from them, but what I'm saying is don't compare. Your journey is not their journey. And if you compare yourself, you might find yourself feeling like you're not making any traction. You're seeing somebody else on there who's paying $2,000 and $3,000 a month toward debt, and they'll be out of debt next week or next year, and you don't even see how you're making any progress. Well, when you let yourself look at what other people are doing to that point that you're getting upset that they're making more progress than you, then it's going to make you just want to throw in the towel. If you're putting $5, $10, $15 every month more to a bill than what was owed, you're making progress. It may be slow, but it's making progress. And if you save up and find some more ways to save money, like we share and many other channels share on their channel, and you keep building that $5 and $10 and $15, and maybe add in some side hustles like door dashing and things like that, then you might be able to add even more than the $10 or $15. But every little bit is moving you in the right direction, and that if you completely gave up, you wouldn't be making that progress.
And then number 7 is if you budget every dollar and are putting away money towards your future, you don't have to say no to anything that you budgeted for, even if it feels frivolous. There are a lot of things, we all like to do different things. And if you're budgeting your money and you want to go to theme parks like we do, then you're more than welcome to do that, because it's your money and you're saving up for something that you want to do. And you don't, as we said in number 6, you don't compare yourself to other people. Some people don't want to go to theme parks. They don't, they want to be more restrictive in their budgets, and that's fine too. But you don't have to be that way. You can budget and go out and do fun things and things you don't have to say no to. So go ahead and budget for those things in your budget. That's right. And be frivolous from time to time.
That's okay, as long as you're staying in your budget.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. So and everybody has what we call it is figuring out what's important to you. And everybody has a different list. While we spend our money on going to theme parks, maybe you might spend your money on getting manis and petties and your hair dyed, and all of that is fine. because if you're staying in your budget and you're putting money toward your future, you can do things that might be considered frivolous.
Yep.
So we want again to thank Jan from New York City Saves Money for inviting us to do this collab. We love you, Jan.
Yep.
We appreciate you so much. And again, if you came over from her channel, thank you for coming over. We really do appreciate it. And we hope that you'll decide to stick around. We do a lot of frugal videos, right?
Yep.
At least once a week. We also do grocery haul videos and recipe videos so that we can show you how we put all these tips into action.
Yep.
So be sure to stick around for those because that's what we do here.
That's right. And let us know if you have any tips, frugal living tips that have actually worked for you. Drop those in the comments below. We love to hear those as well. If you want to check out another one of our videos, our collab videos that we've done with Jan, we're going to put it right here and you can click it right to say the thing we always say. That's going to do it today for the Long Run, Joel and Chrissy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
Don't forget the long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.